back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. National Judicial Council recommends the extension of the tenure of Justice Walter Onoge to the President as Acting Chief Justice of Nigeria by 3 months. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission arraigns Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Dele Belgore, and former Minister of National Planning, Abubakar Sulaiman, on a 5-count charge bordering on money laundering. 7 Russian sailors and their Ukrainian counterparts abducted along Nigeria's waterways by suspected pirates. And Somalian MPs elect Somali US national Mohamed Farmajo as the country's new president in an election held in an aircraft hangar. And just to remind you that for more on our top stories and others, please visit our website channelstv.com and youtube.com/channelsweb. You can also watch us on the go on your mobile device. Log on to m.channelstv.com or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. Having the Channels TV and Channels 24 app will give you access to news and updates. You can also have the Eyewitness feature, so you too can be part of the news. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu and follow the instructions to share those pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Let's take a look at some of those photos that you sent in to us. And the first, if we have it, is this one from Cross River State showing a fire incident. Our eyewitness reporter says a petrol tanker burst into flames. Authorities have been asked to put plans in place to reduce the danger associated with petrol tanker accidents. The next picture shows a bent electricity pole with wires close to the ground at community area in Akoka, Lagos. What our eyewitness reporter finds more dangerous is the repair work being carried out on a vehicle underneath. Here's another picture of a bent pole in the Adeniyi Jones axis of Lagos State, where the concern raised is on safety of those on the ground. Here's our final picture. Our eyewitness reporter shows a sign on the wall of a power holding company building saying the solution to the nation's power outage woes could just be in the missing letters. Interesting. Thanks a lot for all your pictures, and do send us some more. The Russian embassy has alleged that pirates have abducted 7 of its sailors and 1 Ukrainian in Nigeria's territorial waterways. The Russian embassy also says it's asked the Nigerian authorities for assistance in establishing the whereabouts of the victims. The vessel was attacked by pirates in the Gulf of Guinea, 45 nautical miles southwest of Brass in Nigeria, and the incident happened near Pennington Oil Terminal. This latest incident comes months after 3 Russian sailors were taken hostage when the Saronic Breeze ship was attacked. The sailors all regained their freedom on December the 20th, 2016. Well, the National Assembly Joint Committee on Power has invited the Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, over the recent face-off between Electricity Workers Union and the management of the Transmission Company of Nigeria. Apart from finding solutions to the crisis, the lawmakers say the meeting also provides opportunity for the minister to clarify other developments in the sector. Members of the Electricity Workers Union in Abuja have been protesting the appointment of an official of the African Development Bank as interim managing director of the Transmission Company of Nigeria since January this year.
Has been there for some time.
Members of the Electricity Workers Union have continued to protest at the headquarters of the Transmission Company of Nigeria in Abuja. The workers have also petitioned the National Assembly over the same issue.
We do know that this idea of asking the man to come and take over is idea of people who has an ulterior motive somewhere. The intent is not to come and monitor this project. The intent is to, probably siphon this money from the back door. Because if actually what they are doing is in respect of this, what is wrong in the substantive MD, working together with whomever they are bringing to supervise and see how this project is being spent.
This petition by the Workers' Union is the basis for inviting the Minister of Power, Works and Housing by the National Assembly Joint Committee on Power. According to the lawmakers, the objective is to resolve any crisis that could affect the operations of the transmission company of Nigeria.
The electricity sector, we know that the grid is a component of the chain. And so anything that happens in the chain, and there is integrity problem, there's crisis with the grid, or the management of the grid, that clearly means that it's total shutdown, which you know as well as we know.
On his part, the Minister of Power, Works and Housing made clarifications on the issues.
What has supposedly provoked this investigation is the appointment of one person to be managing director. And I feel that it is important to reiterate the fact that there is no managing director in that company now. And Mr. President chooses now to exercise his prerogative to appoint somebody to be managing director.
If the process is allowed to continue, it could cripple activities at the headquarters of the transmission company of Nigeria in Abuja. It is hoped, therefore, that the National Assembly's intervention will remedy the situation.
Let's cross over to Abuja now. Here's Markbe Hugu. Markbe.
Well, hello and thank you, Ijoma. Here in Abuja, the federal government has again given the assurance that there's no cause to worry about President Muhammadu Buhari's health. The Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, told State House correspondents at the Federal Executive Council meeting presided over by Vice President Yemi Oshibajo that the president is well, hale and hearty. He said all the ministers are at their duty posts doing their work because they are sure of the health condition of the president.
I can say it without any equivocation. Mr. President is well, is hale, and is hearty. No question about that. But you see, on a latter note, do you think Mr. President will be ill and will be in danger? How of us will be going about our business like this? He was in Anambra 2-3 days ago. I was in Kwara. On Monday, all our ministers are busy, doing their work. But I want to assure you, Mr. President is well and is in absolutely no danger. We've had many things that we've had too. As a matter of fact, I think it's one of the newspapers that said, when I was the spokesperson for APC, I said that if we were in a situation like this, as Minister of Information, the Minister of Information ought to be giving hourly bulletin on the other president. And I said, we are comparing the apples with the oranges. Mr. President is not ill. He's not in hospital. There will be no need to give anybody any bulletin about his health. Pure and simple.
Nigeria's Minister for Information, Lai Mohammed. Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party has joined in the prayers for the president's health, saying that it's interested in seeing him return to the country safe. The opposition party, however, criticized the president's administration over the way it's handling public institutions, saying that the right thing has to be done. Members of the main opposition party were speaking during the presentation of the Strategy Review and Inter-Party Affairs Committee report in Abuja. Our correspondent, Gloria Umezioke, reports.
They enjoy the expansion of the media.
Founding fathers, former governors, ministers, senators and other party stalwarts of the People's Democratic Party.
Online, we made it possible.
After 3 months of intense re-strategizing, the party's leadership proudly brandished their latest strategy review report. A report that would symbolize hope and targeted to significantly redefine the party's image for a long time to come.
The report places emphasis on attitudinal changes by leaders at all levels in the conduct of party affairs and how to severely, with emphasis on severely, discourage the culture of impunity and imposition of candidates. That must never happen again in our party.
Although the opposition party took another step to pray for the president's health, the leadership voiced out several criticisms over the handling of public institutions to serve selfish interests of government.
We specialize in bastardizing institutions, at the same time wanting them to serve this country well. It will not happen. We are trying to bastardize the judiciary, then we want them to do our bidding. Nigerians, they are patient people. But whether PDP, APC, or any other party, Nigerians cannot continue to be patient forever. His health is important for this country and for us as a party. Yes, we want to take over, but we want to take over under an orderly atmosphere.
I want to say with all sincerity that there is no faction in PDP. If there is a faction in PDP, it is a faction.
The PDP are optimistic that recommendations from the strategic report will indeed set a new tone and revitalize the party for good. Gloria Umezuke, Channels Television News.
Away from politics, over the last few years, Lassa fever has broken out in several states across the Federation with increasing prevalence. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control says new preventative measures taken by the federal government have reduced the rate of Lassa contraction by 20%, urging Nigeria to take precautions by testing immediately feverish symptoms set in. The national coordinator of the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, Dr. Chikwe Ihekwazu, says all outbreak updates are on the NCDC website as further emergency steps are being taken.
There are states in Nigeria, Nasarawa, Taraba, that have cases of Lassa almost every year. What we have seen this year is that we have much fewer big clusters. So we have sporadic single infections, maybe one or two further transmissions, but doctors are becoming a lot better in detecting these cases early, and we are then supporting them in preventing further spread, so we're not seeing the big outbreaks like we've seen in the past. But we'll continue pushing. We may not be able to prevent every single transmission from rats to humans, but our goal is to prevent every transmission from one human to another.
News at 10 returns. The Senate approves the federal government's request for a $1 billion Eurobond as the one-week roadshow rounds up tomorrow. But that's on Business News. Just stay with us.